US President Donald Trump has said that he would ask the Justice Department to look into whether his 2016 presidential campaign was infiltrated by the FBI or the department under the Obama administration. The Republican president's pronouncement followed a morning in which he posted 7 tweets denouncing as a witch hunt the federal investigation of whether his campaign worked with Russia to sway the election. South Korean President Moon Jae-in and US President Donald Trump held discussions to ensure that the North Korea-US summit remains on track after North Korea threatened to pull out of the high-level talks. Moon and Trump spoke over the phone for about 20 minutes and exchanged their views on North Korea's recent reactions. After days of deadlock, a silver lining in the US-China trade war, the United States has suspended trade tariffs on China. This comes a day after both the nations sealed a deal on doing away with the American trade deficit with China. China had announced that both sides agreed to back off from threatened tariffs after a high-level Chinese delegation visited the United States earlier this week. A massive hydropower station under construction by a Chinese company in Zambia has come as a breather to ease severe power shortage in this South African country. Zambia is facing severe power shortage where only 25% of its urban population and 3% of its rural population have access to electricity. Turkish President Erdogan was welcomed by supporters as he arrived in Sarajevo. He is expected to hold an election rally with Turks from Europe in attendance. A crowd waving Bosnian and Turkish flags lined the streets ahead of the rally and before Erdogan's meeting with a member of Bosnia's 3-member presidency, which also includes a Serb and a Croatian. Thousands of Turks have come from Germany, the Netherlands and Austria, but also from across the Balkans and Bosnia to attend Erdogan's rally. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for an attack on a church in Russia's Chechnya Republic that killed 3 people. The group has not offered any evidence in support of the claim. Russia, which hosts the Soccer World Cup next month, has fought 2 wars with separatists in the mainly Muslim internal republic since the 1991 Soviet collapse. But such attacks have become relatively rare in Chechnya. Taliban fighters closed in on another district in Afghanistan as officials sought to reassure an increasingly angry republic that security situation would improve. On Sunday, the insurgents were besieging the governor's compound in Ajuristan district in Ghazni, south of Kabul. Officials say reinforcements had arrived and were relieving police defending the town. The fighting in Ghazni, which has long had a heavy Taliban presence, follows several days of fighting in Farah province on the other side of Afghanistan, on the border with Iran, where the insurgents came close to overrunning the provincial capital. Malaysia's Anwar visited Indonesia in his first overseas trip since jail release. Previously jailed Malaysian politician Anwar Ibrahim paid a visit to Indonesia's former president B.J. Habibie after being granted full pardon. His visit came at a time of the 20th anniversary of the 1998 violence during the political turmoil, which killed around 1,200 people in Jakarta. Anwar's first overseas trip is expected to end on Monday. Hawaii officials have reported the first known injury related to heightened volcanic activity from Kilauea. According to reports, a Big Island resident was hit by lava spatter while standing on a 3rd-floor balcony. The man shattered his leg from his shin to his foot when lava spatter struck him. 4 more homes were destroyed as molten rock from 2 huge cracks merged into a single stream, threatening to block the escape routes. A strong sandstorm with a high sand wall blanketed Aksai Khaza Autonomous County in northwestern China's Gansu province. The storm wall of sand extending from north to south made quick way towards the county seat with an average speed of a strong breeze. In about 10 minutes, the entire county was covered by the sandstorm and visibility was reduced to less than 10 meters in the county seat. According to the local weather department, some other counties and cities in the province will also be expecting sandstorm in the next 12 hours. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has been hospitalized in the West Bank due to complications after minor surgery earlier in the week. It was the third time Abbas had been hospitalized in a week. He underwent minor ear surgery on Tuesday and hospitalized briefly again overnight on Saturday. In February, Abbas was hospitalized in the United States for medical checks during a trip to address the UN Security Council in New York. Shia cleric Moqtada alSadr, whose coalition emerged as the kingmaker in the recently concluded Iraq parliamentary elections, has met Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, signaling an intent to ally with his party. Sadr, a long-time adversary of the United States who also opposes Iranian influence in Iraq, cannot become Prime Minister because he did not run in the elections. According to a U.S. intelligence unit, ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi may not be dead. The counter-terrorism officials believe that Baghdadi is trying to come up with a strategy for the decreasing number of Islamic State fighters. Reports say that Baghdadi is planning to rebuild ideological foundations of the caliphate by developing a program to indoctrinate school children. Residents of the city of Mbandaka in the northwest Congo say they did not know how to face the deadly Ebola outbreak after 4 confirmed cases were reported in the city. The cases in Mbandaka, which is home to 1.5 million people, have raised concerns that the virus could spread downstream to the capital, Kinshasa, which has a population of 10 million. Congo first reported the outbreak in a village near the town of Bikoro on May 15. A 71-year-old Australian missionary is fighting a deportation order for mixing religion and politics in the predominant Catholic Philippines. Patricia Fox is the Philippine Superior of the International Congregation of Notre Dame des Sons. Her missionary visa was revoked after deportation order was issued in April. The Bureau of Immigration claims that Fox was engaging in partisan and political activities during her 27-year stay in the Philippines. President Duterte, who personally ordered an investigation of Fox's activities, has publicly lashed out at her during a military command turnover in April for having a mouth with no shame. Record-breaking climber returns after conquering Everest 22 times, and 48-year-old Nepali mountaineer returned to Kathmandu after breaking the record for the most summits of the world's highest mountain. Kami Rita Sherpa has claimed the Mount Everest 22 times. According to the tourism department, Kami reached the Everest summit via the Southeast Ridge route and was accompanied by 13 other climbers. Thousands of Hondurans gathered to enjoy the La Ceiba Carnival in Caribbean port city, located 220 kilometers north of the national capital. The La Ceiba Carnival, which is also known as the Great Carnival of the Friendship Carnival, is held on the 3rd or 4th Saturday of May every year. Lebanon is hosting its first ever all-female classic car rally. Female drivers flew in from across the globe for the racing event. The 28 drivers in the 2-day rally Des Graces event include women from France, the United Kingdom, China and Algeria. Russia has unveiled the world's first floating nuclear plant power station to meet its growing demand of electricity. The sea-based plant will also help Russia in its Arctic oil drill. The plant, academic Lomonosov, has invited wide-scale criticism owing to safety risks. Actors have been dubbed as the plant as Chernobyl on ice, a reference to the now shut down Chernobyl nuclear plant in present-day Ukraine. Pakistan has sent a 4-member delegation to Washington to raise India's alleged violation of the 1960 Indus Waters Treaty with the World Bank. The move comes a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 330-megawatt Kishan Ganga hydro power station. Islamabad claims that the Kishan Ganga project not only violates the course of the river Indus and its tributaries, but also depletes its water level. 80% of Pakistan's irrigated agriculture depends on Indus River. The claim has been rubbished by the Indian government, saying the Indus Water Treaty allows it to build run-off river hydel projects that do not change the course of the river and do not deplete the water level downstream. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has departed for the Russian city of Sochi to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. PM Modi's Russia visit comes just weeks after the Prime Minister held an informal summit with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Nuclear cooperation, especially in third countries, the fallout of the US sanctions for trade on Iran and terrorism are on the agenda. The two countries are expected to discuss the matters on Iran and the fallout of the US exit from the nuclear deal. Seven state police jawans were killed after Maoists allegedly blew up their vehicle with an improvised explosive device in Dantewada district. The Maoists also looted 6 automatic rifles of the police personnel after the blast and fled into the jungles. According to local authorities, an injured policeman has been airlifted to Raipur and his condition is said to be critical. India's Home Minister Rajnath Singh will be in Chhattisgarh today to attend the commissioning of the much-talked-about Bastaria Battalion of the CRPF in Raipur. A team has been created for the first time with more than 534 tribal youths from the state. Squad has 33% representation of women combatants with 189 women constables. The hardcore localized battalion will be immediately deployed for anti-Naxal operations in some of the worst affected areas such as Sukma, Dantewada and Bijapur. A health ministry team has been sent to Kerala's Kozhikode district after 3 people were killed due to Nipah virus infection. 2 more people are reportedly suffering from the virus infection and are said to be in critical condition. Nipah virus infection in humans has a range of clinical presentations from asymptomatic infection to acute respiratory syndrome and fatal encephalitis. The transmission of virus takes place through direct contact with infected bats, pigs or from other NIV-infected people. Indian actors took part in a cleaning cum awareness drive at Versova Beach in India's entertainment capital, Mumbai. The stars were accompanied by local residents of Mumbai and other social workers. Experts say the plastic has made its way 4 feet deep into the ground. Versova Beach, which is one of the prominent tourist attractions in the City of Dreams, Mumbai also attracts irresponsible garbage dumping in the area, which constitutes about 10% of the garbage on the beach. A Royal Bengal tigress gave birth to 3 cubs in captivity at Safari Park in India's eastern Siliguri city. Sheila, who is the only female big cat in the enclosure, has increased the tiger population of the Safari Park to 6. According to the latest date by the Environment Ministry, the count of tigers in India has risen from 2,226 in 2014 to 2,500 in 2016. Conservation experts credit the rise in population to better management and policing of tiger habitats across the country. The first all-woman Indian crew to circumnavigate the globe is coming home after circumnavigating the globe for over 9 months. They have entered Indian waters and are just off the coast of Goa, making it a successful mission. First ever circumnavigation by a crew consisting of only Indian women. The crew is expected to be at INS Mandovi today and will be welcomed by Indian Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman when they step ashore. A French startup named Sea Bubbles plans to open up waterways for public use all around the world and is working on introducing a new way to transport people on waterways at car speed at a regular cap price without heavily demanding any change in the infrastructure. And with zero emissions, the water taxis were seen in Paris, where a series of tests are being conducted. Sea Bubbles has recently raised more than $10 million funding from a French insurance group to make this dream a reality. The flowers make up of Wonderland in East China's Jiangsu province. Flowers are in full bloom as the summer sets in East China's Jiangsu province. In the Taihu Garden Expo Park in Suzhou City, more than 100 varieties of lilies are in full bloom, covering an area of 26,000 kilometers. Various colors and fragrance attract thousands of visitors. The flower areas are laid out in different shapes, such as butterfly and windmill, as if in a world of fairy tales. In the People's Park of Jiangsu City, more than 5,000 hydrangea flowers make a sea of blue and pink.